It's my pleasure to introduce Harvey Edwards, who came to Lewisburg from Brooklyn on a scholarship to Bucknell University. He met the Sturms, who mentored him in teaching. He met the woman he loves and stayed here to raise a family. Over 25 years now, as a teacher, a mentor, and activist, he's reached thousands of youth. He founded the Tolerance Troupe in the early 1990s that, through the power of drama and humor, brought audiences of all ages to think critically about their actions and the consequence of their inactions, the responsibility of the bystander through scenarios of bullying, overt and covert bias and aggression. When I first saw the Tolerance Troupe, they blew me away. I had to learn more about him, about the troupe, and document their work. Harvey Edwards isn't just a veteran teacher of English and humanities at Selinsgrove Area High School. Don't get him started talking about soccer, golf, or ultimate frisbee. His accolades and nominations include his mention for Pennsylvania Teacher of the Year, repeatedly. He isn't only a teacher. He's a role model, a writer, a leader, and an educator. I give you Harvey Edwards.
I come to you today dressed as I would be Monday through Thursday, as Larry can attest. Me, myself, and why. Me. My background begins with my parents, who are deceased, but for whom my love has never ceased. Helen Sneed grew up in Georgia, and Amos Edwards hailed from North Carolina. They lived in the Jim Crow South from the early 1900s to the 30s, when they joined the Great Migration north to New York, where they met, married, and made me in Brooklyn, New York in 1956. Now, since I'm an English teacher, as many of you know, this Sunday's sermon has a motif of literature. And I want to begin by sharing, since I have an audience of readers, I am sure, a great tome about the Great Migration, The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson. This is a tremendous read to give insights on that tremendous move of African Americans from the oppressive South to a more free Northern environment. I would like to open then with a poem by the Shakespeare of Harlem, Langston Hughes. It's called One Way Ticket. And I thought I had it marked. Okay. One way ticket. I pick up my life and take it with me. And I put it down in Chicago, Detroit, Buffalo, Scranton, any place that is north and east and not Dixie. I pick up my life and I take it on the train to Los Angeles, Bakersfield, Seattle, Oklahoma, Salt Lake, any place that is north and west and not south. I am fed up with Jim Crow laws, people who are cruel and afraid, who lynch and run, who are scared of me and me of them. I pick up my life and take it away on a one-way ticket, gone north, gone out west, gone. There are other reasons why I chose One Way Ticket by Langston Hughes. One facet, obviously, is relevant and evident now. He's also the poet I earned my master's degree writing on, and along with a painter named Jacob Lawrence, who chronicled the Great Migration in his artwork, which was featured in MoMA, 60 panels of the history of the Great Migration, an exquisite exhibit. Returning to my parents, although neither of them finished grade school, they valued the power of education. They made sure I did my homework, even if they could not check it. Myself. So I was a decent student, but I was not much of a reader. In 6th grade, I was identified as having a 4th grade reading level. I had to attend summer school before enrolling in junior high school. I did the Basel reading system in the summer program, and I was encouraged simply to read whatever I enjoyed. So that summer I devoured Marvel comic books. We now call them graphic novels. I read them until my eyes nearly fell out. After completing my summer internment, I tested out with a 10th grade reading level. As a result, when I enrolled for junior high school, I was presented with the option of completing grades 7, 8, and 9, or I could take an enrichment track and skip 8th grade altogether. Naturally, I asked my parents what I should do, and they had the wisdom to tell me, quote, "It's your life. You need to decide," end quote. They gave me the power to decide myself. I chose the former, leisurely enjoying the challenging 3 years of grades 7, 8, and 9. And as Robert Frost once wrote, quote, "And that has made all the difference," end quote. Because I chose to go that extra year, I was a better student and athlete in high school. In my final year, every senior on the basketball team received a scholarship to a college or a university with full rides. Some of my peers who skipped grade 8 did not even make the cut trying out for their collegiate teams. With numerous choices from Texas, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, I chose to attend Bucknell University. In part, I did so to honor the wishes of my parents, who urged me not to attend any school south of the Mason-Dixon. Still, I myself chose Bucknell, whereas my parents thought an appointment to West Point would give me more security for life. And I'll never forget the teacher who suggested I go to Bucknell, then dentistry school, to be set for life. I asked him, "So what if I don't want to look inside of people's mouths every day?" I again found myself telling him, to his chagrin, that I was going to study English to become a teacher. I had decided that after my sophomore year in high school. Why? Not merely because my English teacher was outstanding, but nearly every teacher I had showed passion for the subject he or she taught. Moreover, they made learning fascinating, unforgettable, and fun. They transferred that love for their work to me. So I earned my degree and secondary certificate to teach and sought my future. In the process of doing so, I met at Bucknell a woman who would later become my wife. However, late in my freshman year, and today that's first year, at Bucknell, I had dated a young lady of Asian persuasion. Even then, I thought it prudent to ask my parents if they would approve of me marrying someone who was not black. With her homespun, sagacious sentiment, my mother said to me, quote, "I don't care who you marry. I don't have to live with her." You do. End quote. My wife of 32 years and I have celebrated our anniversary this past Thursday. She is German, Irish Catholic. I am not. We have biracial twin sons who turned 30 this summer, and have lived in Selinsgrove nearly all their lives. Why? Because after some soul searching with me, myself, and I, two choices seemed evident. I could return to Brooklyn or some other urban area to teach and be a role model for other black youths and minorities, or I could be a trailblazing pioneer in a landscape vastly different and serve to dispel stereotypes and misconceptions. In either course, I would serve to make a positive difference in the tortured racial legacy that haunts our country. I, myself, chose the latter. It is in this choice that I can so closely relate to self to take up. In not so direct language, did my parents warn me of the challenges I might face in this world where the color of my skin made me more vulnerable to harm. And I have passed that warning on to my sons, who are fair-skinned, yet just as subject to having their, quote, bodies stolen, end quote, as Coates puts it in his work. This is why, as an English teacher and humanities, most fitting for me, humanities, I have worked for 30-plus years to ensure students in my classes communicate clearly and appreciate the diversity in the world around them. That is also why, as the Student Council Advisor and founder and director of the Tolerance Troop, I have championed the causes of social justice, equality, and community service. That is the me, myself, and why, for the foreseeable future, I will remain in this lovely valley. Though I am retiring from teaching after this year, there remains so much to be done for all of us. Thank you.